they don't realize is that you just want to be famous. That does not mean you want to be an actor.
There was a guy who comes into my store. He's an actor, and I saw him and I was like, "Oh, I know you, but I don't know your name."
Yeah.
But a couple of months later, I saw an interview because, like I said, I always try because what I'm in the film industry, so I'm always trying to figure out, or I'm always looking at different aspects. So I look at actor interviews as well. Mm-hmm. And I saw him, and he gave an interview. His name's Bill Duke, and he's been in this game for a while. But he came up and he met up with Oprah, and then they've done some stuff which made him like really successful. But he was he used to say like he had nothing, but he was still he says, man, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is this worth doing?
Yeah.
And a lot of people quit and they go back to it, but it's the drive, man. You got to be hungry for this because this is hard work, man. I sit on my couch sometimes and I'm just like, man, how the fuck am I gonna pay this bill? How the fuck am I gonna pay this rent? Like, is this guy coming in with his money? Am I gonna meet these deadlines on time? And you got to look past that stuff, obviously, because like I said, I'm doing what I love to do. But if that's the case, I can always go back and flip a burger.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's unacceptable, man. That's.
It's good that you have those high standards for yourself. Because I could tell you a personal story. At the beginning of this year, bro, I had a fucking car accident, and I make my money doing this primarily. So since I make my money doing this primarily with a car accident, that means I have no way to pay my fucking bills.
Right.
And my rent isn't cheap. None of my bills are cheap. I was like 3 weeks late on my rent, and my bills, I'm like 1 or 2 months late on my bills. I just let the electricity bill go 3 months late until they were ready to cut it off. My fucking internet, I said, fuck that internet. Let them cut it off. I'm living off of fucking $30, $40 a week for food. Like, and at that moment, I asked myself, actually, at that moment, for some fucking reason, I went to go see La La Land. The fucking movie La La Land, right?
Of course.
Went to go see La La Land, and while watching La La Land, and dude, I can literally tell you the times that I've cried. I'm not even like that type of dude, Like, I know, I'm from the south side of fucking Chicago. I know people who've died. I've been to their funeral. Knew them my entire life. Did not cry once. Just because it didn't, like, emotionally, I express myself differently. I don't express myself with tears much emotionally. And it's not a thing that I necessarily try to do.
It is. I realize this about crying. It's a reaction.
Yeah, it's just a reaction.
It's a reaction to an emotion, which means you feel. Coming from a ghetto, you learn how to shut that stuff off.
Yeah, you learn how to shut that shit out.
When I realized that shit and I started crying, when I got here, I was like, I feel shit.
Yeah.
And I realized, holy shit, I feel shit. And that made me cry more. Then I realized I didn't feel shit for a long time, which means that made me cry more. So now it's like this, trying to get this stuff is super humbling. Trying to make it work is super humbling.
It's hard.
And you got to be receptive to everything, but you also got to be thankful.
Yeah.
At the same time too, because it really does expose a lot about yourself.
Yeah. So look, I was I always say that I didn't know stress until I came to LA. Even went to Morehouse. Morehouse costs like damn near $40,000 a year, and
you can turn right here. It'll be the first apartment. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Gotcha. When I first went to Morehouse, dude, I didn't have a way to pay for the school. That should have made me stressful, but I wasn't stressed because I didn't really give a shit. But when I got here, I realized you're stressed about things you actually care about,
Right.
And then when I watched La La Land and I saw two people in La La Land go after their dream to the point where it kind of didn't even make sense, some of the shit that they did, The dude was turning down jobs because he felt like it was disrespectful to his art form. The woman was losing it because she wanted to be an actress so bad, but she didn't have a key to get inside the fucking club, the actors club or whatever the fuck. And that's just a metaphor. But nevertheless, when I left La La Land, I actually started crying, and the reason I did is because I watched two people that sacrificed every fucking thing to go after their dream. And I could see myself in both of those people.
There you go, man.
Not necessarily because
you didn't see Lala, man. You saw yourself.
I saw myself twice, too. And when I saw that, on my ride home, I said, I finally understand why I didn't experience stress until I came to LA, because in LA I can see what I want, I just don't have it yet. You know?
Patience, dude. It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come. And shit like that makes you realize what you're good at, what you should hone in, and it also makes you realize, just like what you said, it's like it makes no fucking sense to be here, but something inside of me makes me want to be here. Because it feels like I'm supposed to be here. But you can't explain what the fuck it is, you know? A lot of people go through that here in LA. The ones that go back home, I always say, well, the strong doesn't survive. But the ones that go back home, they never really wanted this shit anyway.
That's true. I know some people who went home, and I'm just like, I get mad. And I'm just like, you pathetic piece of crap.
Yeah.
But then it's not even about them, it's about me. Because I project myself going home, and I give them the worst cuss out. But I realize this has nothing to do with them. It's just me.
It's you. It's whenever I learned this too, when I was going through a really tough time here in LA. Whenever people give you advice, they never give you advice for you. They tell you what's going on in their life.
Exactly. That's you know? Just listen to.
Oh my God, they tell you what the fuck is going on in their life. So I realized whenever I need advice, I need to go and talk to a stranger and tell that stranger what's going on in my life, so that I can hear myself talk. And once I hear myself talk, logically I can figure out if what I'm doing is fucked up or not. You know.